Hello, hello. I have returned with more of what I call the Indiana Jones questions. So, get this out of the way. The idea of the Holy Grail is that it was the cup that Jesus used at the Last Supper. And then later on, it was the idea that it would give eternal life or it would bestow whatever. So, the question is there a Holy Grail? Is the cup that Jesus used during the Last Supper, in whatever form that is, does it exist today somewhere in the world? Even if it's literally buried in the world. Holy Grail. I do recall when I read on the Ark of the Covenant that it was tapping into very strong, very deep, a deep current within the Jewish people, the Jewish faith. Trying to get a sense of the energy on this one. Because obviously, Yahshua, Jesus, was Jewish. Well, and just I just want to make this absolutely clear. While I am not Catholic, my entire family is, and I have great respect for their beliefs. So, nothing I'm doing here is meant to be disrespectful. I'm looking at the energy, seeing what is out there. When I tap into the energy, what I get is there was a mystical, spiritually gifted man. And we are all connected to the source, but he was special. And I've always wondered if there are actually magical objects in the world. But something he touched, something that was important to him, that would definitely qualify. My personal beliefs, from what I've seen, what I've gone through, is that we are all sparks of the divine. We are all pieces of the divine. And then there's the divine itself, almost like a sphere of white light of unbelievable power. And then there are almost like spheres that come off of it, smaller ones. And those are the archangels, or something like that. Actually, what I'm getting right now is that the ones that we could see the closest, like our tree back up to the divine, the archangels who are most faiths, a surprising number of faiths believe in the archangels. They're the ones, they're not the only ones. They're the ones that we can see or sense or feel most directly. Okay? But then there's, that breaks off into smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you get down to us. And we have higher selves, and our higher selves, all time is actually simultaneous. So our higher selves are like the hub on a wheel. And the spokes are each of these lives. And my higher self, your higher self, it's far too much energy. It's far too potent, far too big to fit in our bodies down at this level. But that man, he was much brighter. He was somehow able to, he was a conduit for that energy. Much bigger conduit. Interesting. Well, let's see what happens here. And it's a very positive energy. This feels like the tomb. The tomb that Yahshua was said to He died and then rose back up 3 days later. And then everyone ate chocolate bunnies. Yeah, church wasn't usurping other countries, other cultures, holidays or anything in the past. The Holy Grail has been, people have believed in it and what it could possibly do. There's all kind of lore, and I mean, hey, if you watch Indiana Jones movies, I've heard some of it. It's into the reading. Knights of the Crusade, other crusaders of one sort or another, based on the reading. This very much feels like an individual, but you won't find it as an individual. The point is that we are collective. So if you want it just for your own power, you won't find it. Like, maybe it almost feels like it's that back thing about that old thing about like attracts like. Like, in order to find it, you have to be of higher vibration. You have to, and you have to connect to others. Interesting. Love the reading. More cups. Cups, 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 cups. These are charlatans who have said, oh yeah, this is it. Oh yeah, that. Oh, or Monty Python. Going back to Monty Python. No, thank you, we've already got one. Yeah. You didn't think we were going to get through this without a Monty Python reference, did you? Silly. This is, if when I did the reading on the Ark of the Covenant, if that was the feeling of the spiritual current of the traditions of the Jewish people, this is all Catholicism. And this energy feels very familiar to me because it's what I was brought up with. A rich man, there's more likelihood of a camel passing through the eye of a needle than a rich man getting into heaven. The mysteries that were kept, the mysticism, and keeping the Mass in Latin for as long as possible. Keeping the Bible in Latin for as long as possible to keep it out of the hands of the masses. Yeah. This is not Jesus or Yahshua. This is the church. And let's be honest, the Catholic Church has done some good things over the years. It has. But, excuse the expression, holy cow, have they done some bad things too. Home environment. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the actual energy. All right, hopes and fears. Well, hoping would find it, hoping it would help others. But this is also people. Other people see. These are tied together. This is all of the lore, and the beliefs that tell people what to believe, what not to believe. This is the solid energy, the nearly solid energy of Catholicism almost getting in the way of this. Because the church has its own energy. It may be rooted in this, but it's morphed over the many centuries. Actually, as soon as I touched these cards, it was like, I don't think any of these are going to be cups. This is worldliness and disappointment in not being found. Okay, does it exist today somewhere? Does it exist today somewhere on Earth? in the earth, on the earth. Does it exist? These cards came up as well in my reading on the Ark of the Covenant. This is fear of death. Something about women living longer than men. So this has to do with the lore about it granting eternal life. But this is it being charlatans. I've got it. No, I've got it. No, this is it. No, that is that. Okay. No, this just feels like the church. This doesn't feel like an actual physical cup. Hello, boo-boo. How are you? No, stories were made up. Is there a cup that Joshua drank from that still has some of his energy? Does that still exist somewhere? It would help a lot of people if we could find it. Yes, I realize, cards, that could help a lot of people if we found it. That's not what I'm asking. Ahaha. To me, that's the Grail card. Does that cup? I'm sorry, I'm just getting that people have been fighting about it for centuries, stealing what they thought it was. Powerful men thinking it would give them eternal life or some advantage. Okay, is there an object that Joshua used that is still in the world or would still have positive energy, that was his energy that would... Yeah, no, he was... It's not a cup. Something about a court. Like it's hidden beneath the courthouse, or it would help a lot of people if we could find it. And there are government regulations. This is just weird. There are government regulations stopping digging from happening beneath this. It's like a courthouse. Is it a robe? Is it a shroud of Turin? Is it... No, I'm just getting pilgrims, and I'm just getting the belief system through the centuries. There is something buried, but it would have to be found by an archaeologist. It's well and truly buried. Yeah, that's a weird reading. All right, I'll do a full reading on this at some point, but let's do just a few cards. Are there actual, what we would consider magical objects in the world? Objects that are so infused with, for lack of a better term, divine power, channeled down into this world, that they could help people, that they... I'm getting that there are many objects, because good people give off good energy, and you can create your own just by being a good person. Your objects, your belongings. I'm getting metal. I'm also getting that there's a lot of fraud in this area, but metal things can become a spiritual energy. Crystals and metallic objects are usually the best at holding onto that kind of energy, but other things can too. In future, we will find ways that are both scientific and spiritual to connect, to bring down that positive energy. There are mystical happenings that we would consider mystical happenings that are going to happen in the future to help all of mankind. I have no idea what that means. I'm just, yeah, that's to bring a kind of victory for us all against the darkness and the dense negative energy. All right, make of that what you will. Make of that what you will, but I guess that's all I've got. But thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful. And thank you so much to my patrons. So hang in there. Not only are there good days ahead, apparently, eventually, there are really good days ahead. All right. Thank you.